go ahead and introduce yourself to us. Who is Maria? What do you do, and what are the obstacles that have made you the person you are right now?
My name is Maria Rodriguez, and I am the founder of Girl Code Fitness and Nutrition, a fitness brand located in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a keynote speaker. Um, I do a lot of things, man. I'm actually I do the presidency for the San Antonio Holistic Chamber of Commerce. And who I am a Latina immigrant. I was raised here in Laredo. I was born in Mexico, and I am here to empower people of our community and of our ages in this generation to make an impact, to change. And I call myself a pattern disruptor because I come and I shake the fuck out of your environment.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were born and raised in Laredo, right?
No, I was born in Mexico and I crossed the river, and I speak about this on stage because it's a powerful story. How it's crazy because it was kind of like a gift and a blessing. When I crossed the river with my dad, I crossed the Rio Grande and I almost drowned. And so the water was so dark that I developed thalassophobia. Even in my bathtub, like thalassophobia is a fear of dark waters. Like if I get in the bathtub and I can't see my feet, I will not get in anywhere. Yeah, I have to be in clear water, and that's one of the curses. But the blessing was that I made it alive, and so now I'm here and I can share that message.
Wow, it's powerful. That's super
Thank
powerful.
you.
How old were you when you got to this side?
I was like 5 years old. Yeah.
Wow. So
Yep.
so besides the phobia, I mean, what other issues did you have? I mean, growing up because you're an immigrant, I mean, coming in from basically another world, right? I mean, with
Well,
your parents and everything, how did that come about?
Well, I first crossed my father, and then my mother and my sister stayed in Mexico because obviously you can't cross a whole family, right?
Hmm.
It's really expensive. And when I migrated here, I was without a mother, so I was raised by my father, my aunt, and my grandma in the hood. And I didn't know any better because I thought that was like, we're the richest poor in the whole wide world. So I thought I was living in luxury, man. I was like the only one. I was great, but I just didn't know English. And so when I didn't know English, like my aunt was the one that kind of taught me, like, hey, you need to develop your English. You can't be saying these words because they're gonna know you're illegal. And being an illegal was so taboo back then.
Hmm.
Like you could not say like, "Oh, I'm from Mexico," because they were like, "Oh, they'll call immigration on your ass."
Yeah.
And I remember growing up in a school where everybody was American. I didn't understand the language. I didn't understand the teachers. I had to learn how to write in English and no Spanish. There was some Spanish, but there was definitely like the stigma of let's exclude her because she's from Mexico kind of thing. Like, oh, this la niña de Mexico. Like, they'll push her to the side.
Gotcha. It's
And
like a different culture change has those are the setbacks basically, like
yeah.
learning the language, being able to fit in this new
Yeah.
crowd. And
Mm-hmm.
it's Laredo too, where it's like 95% or more Latino, right?
Yeah.
So you would expect this place to be a lot
Yeah.
more
Open.
accepting. Yeah.
This was in the 2000s though, like
Yeah.
1999, 2000s.
Yeah.
And I remember like I used to dress very differently. It was very like old school. My family was very old school Mexican. Like we used to wear dresses. We could not wear pants. Pants were considered for men. And I couldn't cut my hair for God knows how fucking long. So yeah, I
Wow.
mean, through the age of like I want to say like 10, 12, I was stuck in that like 1950s mentality because
Yeah.
my mom was still pretty old school like that. So when I would go to school, I would have to wear like a skirt.
Wow.
And gym, come on now, like
Gotcha.
so
Yeah.
I would stick out like a sore thumb.
Wow. Imagine going to gym now with a dress on. That's
There
crazy. That wouldn't work.
you
But I
go.
saw that. I mean, I saw that growing up. I mean, I'm sure you did as well. I mean, where you'd see someone that was like a little bit different. They would always wear skirts. I mean, they're a lot
Mhm.
more like, to themselves and more like sophisticated, in other words. And
Yeah,
everyone else is like, all wild or whatever. So
yeah.
so you dealt with that. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
and when did it end?
I think it ended when my father passed away. When we had to move out of the house, and my mom was like, she was always working, so she didn't have the time to pick my dresses and shit. So I just kind of
Mm.
picked up the Levi jeans and the muds, and I was
So how were your high school years?
fuck, they were the worst.
Explain on that.
Ooh, high school was the worst, man, because like, okay, so I was like, I've always been a learner. I've always been, wanting to learn more, but I also wanted to be a cool kid.
Mhm.
So I would like hang out with like I wouldn't say the wrong crowd because I mean my high school years were some of the best, but some of the worst.
Yeah.
I got to hang out with some pretty like older people. I was maybe like a sophomore, freshman. I was hanging out with seniors, and that led me to do things I wasn't supposed to do for my age. And sometimes you say, "Well, I was hanging out with the wrong crowd." I didn't have the wrong crowd. I had a pretty fun fucking crowd. We would just party, but I was partying at an age where I wasn't supposed to be partying.
Yeah.
So that was my getaway. And
a little bit ahead of yourself, right? In other words.
Yeah. And I was just doing that, and I felt like that was just fun. And so I didn't want to like go to school and do none of that shit because I was like, I don't fucking get it anyways.
Yeah.
And so not having the time to have a parent at home to help you with the tutoring and doing all the stuff you didn't understand. I mean, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck that means. But cool.
Yeah, no, I hear that a lot. I mean, school, but is that something where like you kind of like write stuff backwards, something like that? I mean, 'cause my son does that sometimes, and my wife's like, he might have dyslexia. I'm like, let him, he's just learning. He never wrote a 6 before in his life.
Yeah.
Well, I figured out I had dyslexia, but it wasn't like as severe as other people. Mine was more like I read something and I just didn't understand what the fuck I was reading. Like it didn't. I'm more of a if you show me by example, I will like that.
Yeah.
But if I read it, I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like
well, that's me too. I read a whole chapter. I'm like, what the hell did I just read?
Yeah, and it doesn't click well with me. And so with that is the ADHD in me. So I wanted to do things with my hands, and so me sitting still, I have to be like
moving
tapping.
Stuff,
Some kind of.
That's crazy, but that's cool. Like I hate how they put like a lot of labels on people because they're different.
Yeah,
they try to do the same thing to me. Oh, they told my mom, oh, he's ADHD, this and that. They actually tried to give me medicine when I was younger. Yeah, that drug me more. Imagine. But luckily, yeah, yeah. At an early age, I mean, things were just because people would get mad at me and I'd smile. That was me. I mean, I would get nervous. That was my only reaction was a smile.
I got a comment on that. They labeled my son with the same thing, ADHD and dyslexia, and they were like, give him this medication. He should like be calm. So I said, let me pop a pill. Let me see what he's feeling. Right
there you go,
bro. I was on crack. If you don't believe this and you're medicating your child right now, I fucking dare you to take one of his medications every single day with that person, and you're gonna realize that shit is meth. You're feeding your child meth.
How did that make you feel though?
I was like on ecstasy, bro. Like I've done ecstasy before because, I was just a fucking crazy person like that. But doing ecstasy when you are a child is 10 times more extreme. So if this little, I think it was like a microgram, it's like 10 micrograms or something like that. It was so intense for me. Imagine my son. I mean, I went through the whole like exam of personal training with that shit. I was like,
iced it.
Yeah, I fucking crushed it out.
So his medication is supposed to chill you out, and it does the opposite.
It's supposed to focus you.
Focus.
Yeah, but it makes you like anxious. Like it's just.
You see that Tom Cruise interview? Have you guys seen it? Maybe it's floating out online where he's going against that as well. The whole stigma of that.
Hell yeah.
And then it just went completely gone. They stopped giving him movies and stuff like that. I mean, they don't want you to know that.
No, they don't. But that's the same guy that wants you to angle the camera because he looks a little short. That's what it
Oh, that's it. Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Damn, Tom Cruise is coming in clutch. How does he do it? Yeah, wow. Man, that's crazy.
At what age did you leave Laredo?
I was 22, 2016, the beginning. The end of 2015, I manifested. All my life, I've manifested everything I have. Everything I have, I manifested. I manifested moving to San Antonio. I was like, I'm going to live here. I don't know when. I just know I'm going to live here. And I just pictured myself living there. And then the next month, I was offered a job there. And I was interviewed and hired on the spot. And they're like, you're moving in 2 weeks. And I was like, fuck this lease. Fuck this job. Gotta go.
You're working here and living here before that.
Yeah.
So you got another job over there.
Yeah. I was assistant cashier for the manager at Sushi Madre. And they never wanted to, and I'm going to say it in the fucking camera, and I don't give a fuck.
Name her.
They didn't want to give me a raise because I told him, I was like, hey, listen, like there's a assistant manager position. I think I can do this shit. Like I got some leadership. And he was like, oh, you don't want to do this. Wow. You don't want to do this. But like if it was a man, he would have given it to him, which he did. But he was like, oh, you don't want to do this. And so then it was only like 75 cents more. But still, it would have made a big change in the considering the local budget. And so I said, you know what? Well.
And what was the job over there in San Antonio? Your first job over there?
I was a general manager for Sideliners Grill. Okay. It was a pretty big. It was like a bar, restaurant, volleyball courts in the back. Wow. We were pretty packed. And I was one of 3 managers. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. How did you like that change? I mean, was it everything you thought it was, or what do you think?
It was a lot of work because I've never been a manager for a big old. And first of all, Sushi Madre is a small location, but you go to San Antonio and you think it's gonna be like, oh, it's easy. No, like the employment over there is so different. They don't want to work. They don't want to be employed. They would come in for like a day. They didn't like it. They would leave.
No.
And since Latinos here are very hardworking, they need the job. You know, they're eager to work. Allá, pues no. O sea, la gente es bien,
Huevona.
bien huevona, arrastrados, mantenidos. They didn't want to fucking work.
They feel entitled, like they don't want to.
Yeah, no, bro. They would come in for like a day. They didn't want to come back. So hiring process was shit. And then the current people that I was, you know, I had employed, they would yell at me, scream at me. I mean, it was $15 an hour. Don't get me wrong, but that I was like, you're not gonna be yelling at me.
Yeah.
So that's I deviated my route from restaurants.
At what age did you do your first business?
I was 24.
So 2 years later after that.
Yeah.
What made you?
There you go.
Oh,
What made you create your own business?
Well, I've always been in the fitness like world, especially here in Laredo. Like I was told to, somebody told me you need to go to the gym. And sometimes you need those hard truths because they told me you need to go to the gym. I was working at Danny's at the time, and I had worked at Danny's since I was 15. So, I mean, obviously 15 to I think it was like 19, 18, I was pretty fat. And so all the enchiladas got to me. So,
yeah, like what, $5.99, $3.99 sometimes?
Yeah, it was $3.99 back then.
$3.99?
Yeah, and I would get the discounts or shit. I was
there you go.
stuffing
That's every day.
Hell yeah, give me 3 of those plates. I'll take some home.
To go, ese.
Hey, they got a lot of choices there too. A different type of plate every day.
We're gonna have to go so they can endorse us.
There you go. Hey, Daddy, you hearing this? We love your enchiladas.
Señor Daniel, give us some coupons.
There you go. We'll work for enchiladas.
Oh, work for some sweet sauce.
Yeah, there you go. Sweet sauce is my favorite, actually.
Yeah, same with sour cream.
There you go. Please, ma'am, can you please bring the sour cream? You forgot to give me the sour cream. That was my thing. But that's cool. So you've been in like the service industry for a while then, right?
Yeah.
So like you just worked yourself up, be like, hey, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a hard worker. I deserve management. You just didn't get that here.
Danny's either, man.
Yeah.
I'll call them out too. They didn't want to give me a position. They were like, you need to be married. And you need to be in the company for at least 10 years. I was like,
that's a weird requirement.
Fuck that.
They do go on seniority. I've seen that a lot with managers.
You need to be a man. You need to be married, and you need to be in the company for 10 years. I was like, fuck this shit. I ain't gonna be here for long.
Damn.
Yep.
And how long were you there?
I was there since I was 15, so I was like already like 18.
Shit, you were halfway.
Yeah, and I was like,
you were.
You're there. Wait.
No, that's crazy how you made that shift. Now I gotta be honest. I did read your backstory before, and I know that I did, and I know it was a book, right? It was the life of 100. No. Was it? It's a life of a 6-figure woman. Was that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that book that you read in San Antonio. I'm assuming.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that. I read that book in San Antonio when I was trying to figure out so my story is like it goes a little bit like everywhere. I mean, I was here, but I was also like to make ends meet, I would strip. So I would strip in the valley, and so I would drive back because I mean you don't want to strip here in your hometown. And so then I was stripping here for a little bit, but it wasn't really making me a lot of money, especially because it was just like people knew me. So then when I went to the valley, I mean it was a little bit different. Like people didn't know me, and it was more cities, more strip clubs. And then I went to San Antonio. I liked it there, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna figure out a way to move there. So when I moved there after the restaurant industry, I went stripping full time because I was like, I need to be with my kids. My schedule was a little fucked up, and so I was like, I need to be able to take care of these kids in the day, and I need to be able to work at night. So stripping was my way out. I'm not saying stripping, I'm not advocating for stripper, but I am saying that it opened some doors for me, and I was able to pull myself out of that situation when I was, you know, going through those really dark times. Reading books like that helped me say, hey, you know what, you're worth more. Like, see your value, pull through. This is just a stepping stone, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of, I'm going to be a stripper, I'm going to make some bank, and I'm just going to be a fucking sugar baby.
Yeah, because there's a lot of easy money coming in there, right? Yeah. You get comfortable right away.
Yeah.
It was that person that told you go to the gym. You got that confidence to be a stripper. Is that what it was?
Well, no, she was like, you need to go to the gym. And so I was going to the gym, and when I left Danny's, because they were like, you need to move up to, you know, be 10 years with us or whatever. I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, I'm not going to be here, because I was not making money. I was like, I'm not making fucking money. So I went to another restaurant, and then I got fired from there. So then, actually, I didn't get fired. I quit because I was dating someone, and it's a whole different story. But I was without a job. After we broke up, I was without a job. I had an eviction notice on my door, and I was like, fuck, I just need to make fucking money right now. And so I went to the strip club. They're like, we're hiring entertainers. I did not know shit about being a stripper. I Googled it. I was like, how to be a stripper.
What came out there?
Nothing, way.
You had to YouTube some videos.
I did. and nothing came out. I was like, I should make a channel of this.
You could dance already, at least, or no?
I couldn't. I have no fucking rhythm. And when you go in there and you're like a chubby 5-foot Latina, like, dude, you're like, holy shit. So that's when I was like, I really need to get my ass back in the gym. But some of the girls were like, just we're dancing here. This is going to be pretty much a workout. So it was. I lost a lot of weight.
They use that. They use like stripper pole for workouts, right? I've seen that a lot. Shit. I can imagine carrying yourself up there and they're back, upside down.
Lots of bruises, man.
Oh my God. I can only imagine. Know any tricks?
Oh, of course. I taught most of the girls here in Laredo.
Really? Wow. You probably see some of the tricks that
Because I know that one.
There you go.
That's got the butterflies.
Wow. That's amazing. But I get that. I see it a lot where like strippers get like that boss mentality real quick. Like, hey, and the value too. You get a lot of value too. So that kind of helped you into where you transition to now, right? Amazing.
It's funny that you say that. Like, it gets to your head, but it also like gets your head full of air, like an airhead, because you can also be caught in that stigma, like, oh, I got the money, got the bread, fuck these guys, fuck bitches, get money.
Yeah.
And then you're making it and you're blowing it. You're making it and you're blowing it, and then it's just a fucking cycle. But
you spend more money, you make more money, you spend more money, then you're on party life or whatever. You might stay a couple hours, drink or whatever. Is what you're trying to say? Like,
it creates bad habits.
Yeah,
it creates bad habits because you're not only teaching yourself that you're gonna get money, and this didn't help me when I started my business, because when you have a business, you get paid per client, right? You don't get paid every fucking day like a fucking waitress or like a stripper. Yeah. So you have to learn how to budget and how to manage your finances. And so that's one thing that you kind of like te malacostumbras, right? You get like bad habits out of that. Also, you start seeing men differently. Like, you start seeing men as like, they ain't shit. Men this and that. Men can buy me anything. I can get anything for free because of my body. So you kind of like brainwash yourself. But there's also the stigma where it's like, okay, you get the confidence, right? And you learn to develop either some kind of fucking good personality, or you just learn how to use like your attributes. And if you don't got either, then you're fucked. You got to get a job.
Yeah, you can't be where I'm at or whatever. Like, you can't sustain that without what you said, like some type of attribute there. And then, of course, the confidence might be through the roof once you start seeing money come in and stuff like that. So, I mean, when did that shift? When did that stop? Where like, okay, I need to stop these habits. I need to shift into something else. What year was that, or how old were you at that time?
My breaking point to quit stripping, I have been in the industry, I think, for like, I started when I was like 20. So then I stopped at the age of 24, 25, 2019. And it came to a halting stop when I was drinking a lot. I was drinking every fucking day. I would start at 10 a.m. and I wouldn't end till like 6 a.m. the next day. I was making money, but I was also, ruining myself. Yeah. I mean, I was on drugs, I was doing cocaine, and then San Antonio is known for being a party city. So there's after hours clubs, there's party clubs everywhere, and then people are like, hey, let's go party here. And so I was just in a self-destruction mode. Like, I was not in tune with myself at all. Like, I was like, another day, another fucking dollar, fuck this shit, let's go make some bread, right? And so with that, like, somebody called me fat. They were like, hey, you're too fat to work night shift. And that was when I made my bread in the night shift. They're like, hey, you're too fat to work night shift. You can't go on the floor. Being on the floor, it's like you go talk to customers that you can't be on the floor. And if you're going to be on the floor, you got to pay us $100. You can't go on stage because you just don't look right. And I was like, what? Wait, what? So
it's like the bad habits kind of consumed you. A little beer belly here and there, like, hey, you can't be doing that here. I couldn't see that. And alcohol, and especially beer, that shit blows you up like huge. If I drink beer for a couple of days, man, you up like 300 pounds.
Imagine every single day, and it was free. Shit, it
was free.
Yeah, it was free. I was a stripper, man. Everything was free.
And you're not working out during this period, like, you're not going to the gym. Okay.
No.
Because I've seen your reels, and you're at the gym making reels. So So this is after that happened then. Okay.
Yeah. This was 3 years ago. Okay. So 3 years ago, I changed my life. I got married to myself. I committed.
Nice. That's the first time I hear that. That's good.
Yeah, I got married to myself. I committed to my goals. I was like, you know what? I'd be damned. I'd be damned if my father crossed the river just for me to be a fucking stripper.
Waste my life.
And waste my fucking life. I mean, we almost fucking died. I'm gonna be fucking mediocre and be like, hey guys, I crossed the river. End of story. I fucked up. Like, no, man. I was like, no, I'm gonna do something big with myself. And so that's when I started cleaning out all that mess and that trauma. Damn, I had so much fucking trauma. I was like, oh fuck. Oh shit. It was kind of like opening like a can of worms. and you're just like trying to like open it little by little, but once you open it, it's like Pandora box. Everything's out, and you're just like, holy shit! All this time.
Wow.
And this is around COVID season in 2019. Then when you ended.
2018 when they called me fat. In 2019, I started my business because this happened in December.
Okay.
This happened in December.
And your first business was which one?
Was Girl Code Fitness, and it started in April of 2019.
So this is before COVID?
This was before COVID. Check this out. I opened up my brand, right? Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to make a change. And so in a matter of 8 weeks, I was able to transform my life. I was like, you know what? 8 weeks, 12 weeks. It was a 12-week program, and I went balls to the wall. And this chick said, you cannot commit to this. You cannot commit to shit in your life. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, this is true. This is real. This is real. And I was sick and tired of my shit. And they say that real change happens when you're tired of your own shit. And I was tired of it. I was sick of it. I was like, you know what? I don't want to feel hungover. I want to feel good. I want to go out there and I want to make an impact. I want to make sure that I'm leaving a legacy for my children. Yeah. Most of all my children. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to change my life. And I did. And I committed to myself. I lost that weight. And I have before and after pictures. And I was just like, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to go buy a certification to be a personal trainer. And so in 6 weeks, I finished my certification in April 2019. I opened up my fitness brand, and I spent all of my money from my life savings, everything I had, $25,000. I saved it all, and I spent it. Well, I invested it. I invested it in myself and learning how to be a business owner, selling courses, closing, all that good stuff, pitching, anything, brands, websites, logos, all that shit. And I said, I am not gonna fucking get a plan B. It's plan A or nothing. Like, I'm gonna fucking die here trying. Like, there's no turning back. And ever since then, I didn't turn back. Till this day. We were just talking about that shit. I was like, you don't know how easy it is to be a fucking stripper right now. And she was like, I know, but we're like, it's not ethical. It's not moral. We already been down this road. It doesn't leave you anything good for you. Like, all it does is create bad habits and leaves you dependent on a fucking person. And it's like cutting your own wings, man. You can't fucking fly.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Cutting your own wings.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. Mm-hmm. Bird can be comfortable. I saw a lot of birds today at the zoo. I mean, yesterday at the zoo, and they're all comfortable, but they're stuck. They're stuck in a cage.
They're stuck in a cage.
I saw 2 eagles. Eagles are supposed to be flying out of the mountains and shit. I saw them. They're stuck. I'm like, what? What happened?
But they're getting fed. They're getting everything. They don't have to go hunt for it. And so some people become like those animals in the zoo. They're just like chilling, laying back. Somebody taking care of me, sugar daddy, sugar mama. And
they get used to it.
Yeah.
Lazy
motherfucker.
I saw some elephants. They didn't even get up. Rhinos. Nope. Hey, get up. Do something.
I'm paying here. Do a flip.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I like that. I like that analogy a lot.
Yeah.
And then
it's called sauna talk.
Sauna talk. What's that?
We went to the sauna and we just think about it.
Oh, that's cool. We got a sauna. That's crazy. Yeah. And I think we skipped over that. I mean, you had children at a young age as well. That's what drove you to be hardworking. And I mean, you had to make it happen for them, right? Yeah. I mean, that was a huge change. What age did you have your children?
I was pregnant at 16. I had them at 17. They were premature. And so I went through a really tough time with the state because somebody called CPS. They were like, she's not fit to be a mother. She's too young. She doesn't know what the hell she's going to do. I don't know who it was. Actually, I have an idea who it was. But they did just say that I was crazy, that I didn't have the capacity to be a mother. And so the state was like, I'm going to take him away from you. And I'm going to place them with either their father or your mother or your family members. And you can only visit them. And for 9 months, I had to fucking deal with that shit every fucking day. And I had to fight for my kids every day.
That's devastating. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
I know it makes me want to tear up, but I'm a gangster. So I'm
not
going to fucking cry.
It. Fuck that shit.
No, I had to fucking struggle with it, man. Yeah. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit the way the state took them away from me because I was being a good mother. They were like, you need to have a stable home, a car, a job. But I'm not going to say anything else. But from the other person, they didn't require shit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, of course you don't.
Yeah, the state messes up a lot of times. A lot of times they mess up. And they're under hot water. I mean, there was a death recently about maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
That was a death here in Laredo.
Really?
And they're just on hot water now. And, I mean, they have their times where, like, they have to tighten the boat, so they start getting on people's case, like, that they shouldn't do, but because they have that backlash, that something happened and they didn't catch it, where there's reports and all this, and all the paperwork's there, but they didn't act on it. And it happens all the time. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's really heartbreaking to see that whenever there's a good parent out there trying to make the best for their children, and then they just want to come after you for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
But then for the people that are actually fucked up and they're really abusing their children, it's like, what the fuck is the state?
Yeah. And we see that on the father's side as well, where like the mother's unstable or whatever, and they'll still side with the mother like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
They will not give the father any time of day, and they have to do the same thing, fight for their kids to see them. Some of them don't even see their kids for years.
Yeah.
And just they don't have a choice.
That's
Mother
true.
left and stuff like that.
See,
So,
that's one thing about being a parent. Like, I can't be bitter like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how wrong we did each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. Like, your kids are our kids, and I cannot take that away from them.
Yeah.
And I feel like anybody watching this, and you're a fucking mom, and you're doing that, shame on you.
Shame on you. Exactly.
Karma's a bitch.
Yes. And no, what they don't understand, your kids will resent you.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a life thing. You just never get over that. And that's what they don't understand at the moment. So it's just like I have
Selfness.
I have 3 little ones.
So that was an obstacle.
Yeah.
But any other obstacles you faced as creating your business?
Creating my business, and everything was thrown against me. Everything. Being a
Every
parent.
obstacle. Yeah.
Being a parent was an obstacle because I had to like figure out how to take him to school. And then, okay, so I started 2019. My business was great. But for the first year, I did not do shit. I did not make any fucking revenue. I did not make any fucking money. I basically just lived off my savings. And it was a terrible choice because I could have asked for help, but I didn't because I was so prideful, you know, because I could do it. I'm Mama Luchona over here. So I was like, I got this shit. I don't need nobody. If I fucking born alone, die alone. And I could have asked for help, man. That's one thing I always tell the entrepreneurs. Ask for fucking help. Put down your ego. Your ego is not your amigo. Like,
oh, I like
not.
that. There you go.
I could have made so much money that first year, but I didn't. I slept on it.
What was the reason that you weren't making any revenue?
Because I wasn't like, I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have family that had like businesses that were fitness trainers that were promoted. And people like think like, oh, it's taking selfies and then showing people like, hey, who wants to train with me? It's actually a lot harder than that. It's like deeper into
So
that.
to get clients is a little bit harder.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely, most definitely. I mean, expanding your network, all
Yeah.
that shit was like crazy. And I had it started as an in-home fitness service for women with kids. So like if they couldn't get out of the house, I was an in-home fitness coach. I would come in with the equipment. I would just set up, train you, and then I would get out. Everything was customized. I started with the nutrition COVID. And when COVID hit, I had already kind of like started to get out there. And so when everything was shut down, they were like, oh shit, I know somebody that does in-home fitness service. And it was me.
Ah, so you like kind of hit the market there.
Yeah.
And I know you dedicate yourself to women fitness, but your first member was a guy, right?
My first member was a fucking guy. Yeah, I didn't know that.
There you go. I'm telling you, I did my research.
Did his research. Yeah, it was a guy.
Lost 30 pounds too.
He was a big guy.
Yeah.
He was a big guy, and he was it was one of the people that first pushed me to like do more because he was like one of my clients from back in the strip club, and he's like, hey, I really want to lose weight. Like, I don't like how my wife looks at me no more. Like, it's getting a little uncomfortable. And so I was like, well, I'll meet you there. And I wouldn't go. And then he was like, no, hombre, you already flaked out on me. So he pushed me. He's like, hey, I really need you to help me. So when I helped him, he lost all this weight. And then I was like, oh, I guess I do have a fucking talent. So
Wow.
What are some of the things that you focused on to lose those 30 pounds with them?
oh man, it could be anything. Like first I have to like analyze what your habits are.
Okay.
What are your habits? What are your sleeping patterns? How are you recovering? What are you eating? You know, how do you deal with stress? You know, all the things about how to recover. People like, oh, you gotta work out burpees and la chingada. No, it's none of that. It's none of that. It's actually getting to know the person and knowing their traumas and their triggers. If you have like how can I say this? Like if you are a guy or a girl, right? And you have a bad relationship with food because when you were little, you were told you have to eat all the food. If not, you're going to waste it. Guess what? You trigger yourself to eat more. So you're like tricking yourself to overeat. Or like if a person has anxiety and they just have an addictive personality, they could be overeating because they're stressed. How many times have you, and it's awareness. It's literally awareness. You being aware, like, hey, when I'm worried, am I craving a hot fudge sundae? That could be stress eating, and you don't even know it.
With the stress eating and anxiety eating, I feel like I suffer so much from that. When my wife was giving birth, I remember going to the vending machine and I got like a snack and it got stuck. So I said, let me get another one. So they both came out, and by the time I knew it, I had eaten both of those snacks. I did like some Skittles. I don't know what they were, but I hadn't even noticed. I said, I'm gonna save one for later. And by the time I knew it, both were gone. I was so stressed in that moment. You don't even realize it till after.
Yeah.
I'm a huge like guy of like getting up at night. I haven't done it recently. But yeah, midnight, and it could be anything. Yeah. But that's like my first like moment to just wake up and do that. And I feel like I'm not sleeping. I didn't notice that. Like, I feel like I never sleep. I'm just always in a state of like half asleep, half awake.
Yeah. You know, your pineal gland might be calcified.
That's what they say, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things. That's what I'm telling you. Like whenever they say how he lost 30 pounds, how people lose all this weight, like how do you help them achieve? How much is so? That's we listen to like a lot of like podcasts and stuff about salespeople. And Ryan Stewart was saying this, man. Like if you're shopping for price, I'm not your person. If you're looking for quality and you're looking for a great service that's gonna last you for a long time with life-ending results, like life-lasting results, I'm sorry, like I'm your chick, like come hit me up, like I'll fucking transform your life. And I've done a lot of transformations with women in my community, which is San Antonio now, because I know how to read women. I know what are the patterns. I read a lot about trauma and how your brain works and what are the things that your amygdala does whenever you're stressed or fight or flight mode. Like I know these things. So whenever it's cloudy, I have a client that she stress eats when it's cloudy because she gets sad. She doesn't get enough vitamin D. So whenever it's cloudy, guess what? She fucking stress eats and gets depressed. So I have to hit her up. Hey, get your fucking ass up. Get your fucking ass up, yeah.
And a lot of people are vitamin D deficiency, right? Like they have that. I mean, what is that? Is that just sunlight? That's the only way you can consume that?
Just go outside, man.
Shit, Laredo. Everyone should be set in Laredo, man. We should all be set.
How many people do you know in Laredo has fucking depression?
Damn.
Well, they all have like a lot of sunlight here, but they don't go outside.
That's
true. It's too hot.
But what I hear most is like most people go into depressive modes like in the winter or like when it gets more dark out, cloudy days. Like those are referred to like sadness and stuff like that.
Well, there is a it's called the seasonal depression.
That's what it is.
You have to have blue lights and shit, and you have to like, especially like, okay, so people that suffer from depression, and I'm not like allowed to talk about this because technically I'm just a certified trainer. It's not my field, but my opinion is, what I've seen with my clients is there has been several studies on blue light, right? The UV rays that come from the sun naturally in the morning. So first rays that come out of the sun, they're healthy, they're good for you, they help you fight depression. According to some studies, I'm not no damn doctor, but it doesn't take much to
know. The truth is in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and I'm sure you've seen that with a lot of different people. I'm sure you work with a lot of different people, and they all kind of relate to the same thing. Like,
so I mean, crazy. it turns heads, bro. Like people are like, oh, whoa. So like I said, one pattern disruptor. So people are like, when I see something, they're like, that's not real. I'm like, I'm having to debunk all these fucking myths for y'all.
They're so stuck in the matrix. That's why I say it's a matrix that we're all built in. It's just system. And some people will never have a mindset. They'll never shift their mindset. They'll never have a realization or anything. They'll just live their whole lives in that little matrix because they're comfortable in the cage.
Oh, yeah.
That's what easy. It is. Wow.
I was going to ask, what are some of the things that you could do to kind of ease off the stress? So instead of eating or picking up something to like munch on, what are some of the things you could do? Besides going outside, exercising, any other things?
Well, it's funny that we talk about stress right now because stress, I was very stressed for a period of time, and I did not know I was stressed. Shit, I didn't even know I was stressed, and I was a fitness coach, right? But it's funny that we touch on that because everything happens through you, not to you, right? So I was waking up with like hives, like crazy hives,
like rash.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is it? The dog? Is it me? Like the sheets, the laundry, something. But it was my stress. My stress hives were peaking, and so I was like, how the fuck did what's going on, right? And so I went through this detox mode of 30 days without anything that would cost me outside of like my pattern, which was usually like waking up and executing my task, like binge watching, napping, eating shit, not working out, not drinking enough water, not feeding myself enough like good stuff. So I went to 30 days of detox, and I learned that the way that I dealt with my stress was by executing stuff I had to do, right? Like getting my mind off distractions. Because sometimes when you look at your phone and you see all these people like doing great, you get stressed because you're like, oh shit, I'm not doing shit with my life. But everything is beautiful on Instagram, right? So you get stressed the fuck out there. And then there's other things where like if you just waste enough time, you get stressed because you're like, oh shit, I didn't get to do what I had to do. So the best way to deal with stress, honestly, it will be anything that per se that helps you feel better. Like for me, it's listening to music.
So hobbies,
dancing. You can go dancing. You can listen to music. Taking a drive helps you de-stress. Breath work. I mean, that's the best way to. People are like, ooh, that's some woo shit. Yeah. Like the alkaline water.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Really, I've been hearing that. Yeah.
Alkaline water is bullshit. The best way to alkalize your body is by taking deep breaths and being in tune with earth. When's the last time you walked barefoot outside in your grass? Magnetic field, man. Magnetic field towards the ground. And people are like, that's crazy. That's bullshit. Well, let me tell you some bullshit over here. Whenever, like, your cells don't have enough oxygen, they become clustered together. And so in order to get some oxygen in there, the presence of oxygen lacks the presence of disease, right? And so when you have enough oxygen in you, and we've gone to a lot of health conferences with Gary Brecka, and for anybody looking to search more about this, listen to Gary Brecka. He's a fucking amazing person, super smart guy. He was talking about how to alkalize your body, right? He was saying that all you got to do is go sit outside in bare ground, take some deep breath. That's going to alkalize your body 16 times more than drinking fucking alkaline water.
Wow.
How long you got to chill out there?
2 to 3 minutes.
Wow.
Just
2 to 3 minutes.
Makes all the tree huggers and all the yoga guys look like geniuses, huh? Like it makes it makes you think.
Yeah, I mean, I do the Chamber Holistic Commerce presidency, and so you hear a lot of this stuff talk, and you're like, this is bullshit. But then when you do your research, you're like, wow, they were onto something. These woo people were onto something.
And I'm sorry, call me naive or whatever. What is that exactly? The Chamber of Commerce. I mean, what, is that like a group of businesses or what is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, it's a group of businesses that are living holistically, or they have a holistic practice or practitioners. Some of them are nurses that saw the way that medicinal works were doing for their clients, and they were like, I want to get my people off meds. But I know that, like, even sound healing, like several hertz, because we're all frequencies. We're on a vibration. Whenever you're in a really fucked up vibration, who do you attract? Fucked up people. But when you're in a high vibration, good shit starts happening to you. So it's like the law of attraction. It's like manifesting good stuff. Yeah.
And I felt that when things are going bad, like I had to do some shows without him, and like my own anxiety had caused things to happen. And I remember leaving from here with like such low frequency, like I could feel it. I could just like so down.
Especially when people have bad energies, they suck your energy out.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, I feel I always talk about that, right? We get like vibes with people. It's like a vibe, right? You get a vibe.
Right.
Like
I just actually experienced this a couple weeks ago where I got a bad vibe. I was like, I don't really. But then, like, as time progressed, it was the opposite. It was like, maybe it's just sometimes people are timid, they're shy, and you get that vibe. But then once they open up, it's like, oh, I was wrong. So,
you might be onto something. Like, because women especially, we're very, like, in tune with ourselves, and, like, we can sense shit. So, like, I don't know if your girlfriend or your wife ever told you, like, hey, there's something wrong with this guy. Like,
yes, definitely.
And then guess what? A few days later, a few months later, a few years later, you're like, oh shit, the fuck was he on?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But did I answer your question?
Which one?
I don't know.
What about stress? Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I went ADHD on your.
And are you sure you said that my gland was like calcified? How do you uncalcify that? I mean, do you have is there something you could do for that as well? Because I hear that a lot.
Sound waves, bro.
Sound waves.
I sleep with like AirPods, like I put my headphones on and I look up on YouTube like frequencies, vibrations, and like I sleep in meditation, sleep hypnosis, and I'm telling you, I've been able to manifest some shit. Like I've been able to like sleep and reprogram my brain to release trauma and shit. Like people are like, that's crazy. Yeah, no, let me tell you something, motherfuckers.
Because people don't know how your body works, right? But they say when you're in a state of sleep, that you can learn the most.
Your subconscious is awake, bro. Let me tell you one thing, and like this is gonna shock the hell out of y'all, because like this is weird, but I was like, this is fucking crazy. So I was doing self-meditation, right? And I was learning how this works. And so I've been able to do like some astral traveling, like anyway, so in my sleep, Neville Goddard is one of the people that speaks a lot about manifestation and doing all this stuff. So he was walking me through this exercise in my sleep, and he said your subconscious is going to tell you, you're going to picture yourself climbing a ladder, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's an exercise, right? And you're going to touch it. You're going to feel how it feels, cold, rigid, whatever. You're going to climb up the ladder and walk down the ladder, walk up till you fall asleep. And then the next day, you're going to do it again. You're going to walk up to the ladder. You're going to walk up, down, 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 whatever. And you feel it, you see it, you smell it, you know what that feels. And then you tell yourself when you're awake, I am not going to see a ladder. I'm not going to see a ladder. Guess what? I was driving down the interstate, and I saw this fucking ladder on the right of the fucking highway, and I was like, that's weird. That's just a fucking coincidence, right? So then I get to my apartment, and guess what? As soon as I walk out of the elevator, there's a fucking ladder right there, and I'm like, bro, okay, this is a little too weird. So then I'm like, it's a coincidence, right? I'm like in denial. So then I'm going to work, and there's 3 trucks, and they all have ladders in the back. And I'm like, I ain't never seen that many fucking ladders in a day, but okay, I get it. But you manifest what your subconscious thinks. So if you're constantly thinking about you being broke, you being poor, you being sucky, like I'm never gonna get anywhere, then that shit becomes your reality. You have to see yourself out there. You have to see yourself. I mean, there's a note I have on my phone from 2018 when I was like a fucking stripper, and I was like, I'm gonna be a successful businesswoman. I still have it. Now look at me.
Wow.
Now let me ask you this: that same method that you used with the ladder, did you do that again, but with something else that wasn't a ladder? With money.
And my Audi. Oh, my Audi. I was like, fuck yeah, I saw my Audi. Well, it's crazy how life works, you know, because I was like, I've always had basic cars, but once I got a foreign, I was like, everything else is boring. And so I got into like this new gym where I was training out of, and they were right next to the Audi and the Dominion. And so I was like, oh, the Audis, I'm going to have one. And I was like, one day I'm going to drive an Audi. And so I pictured myself driving an Audi, and now I have an Audi. So I'm like.
Yeah, you did the whole thing with the frequencies and envisioning the Audi. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, they do say that we like kind of create our own world as we're going. So that could be it too, like where you like the ladder thing, like you're looking out for ladders, or you're creating that your own self. You believe that, or is it kind of like more like the world's here, I have to make it happen or bring it to me?
The world is up for grabs.
Okay.
Whatever you want to see, you're going to see more of. Whatever you're in tune with is what you're going to see more of. Like if you think about like problems, that's all you're going to see. If you think about money, you think about success. A lot of people spend so much fucking time watching stupid YouTube videos, hanging out with their bum ass friends, doing absolutely fucking nothing that's going to bring them success instead of educating yourself. Like sometimes like in the morning, I won't even listen to music. I'll listen to fucking podcasts that's going to teach me how to sell, how to close, how to advance, how to make a sale. Like, I didn't got time for that fucking rap shit. Like, when I go to the gym, maybe I listen to some rap. Other than that, I'll be listening to a podcast, or I'll be listening to, like, Clubhouse or something, because I want to feed myself enough to where, like, you know how Kobe Bryant used to study, right? How he became the greatest player? He would practice every 4 hours. He would go to practice for 2 hours, and then he would do it again and again. So by the time that people wanted to catch up to him, he was like, motherfucker, I already been done doing this shit for longer than you. Like, every 4 hours, I train. People wait. Next day, I'll start on Monday. Yeah. By the time you went to Monday, I already went to the gym like 6 times, bro. Like,
yeah. And I think he would always compete with them, like, who got to the gym first, right? Yeah. That's what it was. And it just shows the hard work and everything. And the attention to detail, too. Yeah. Because he was so, like, paid attention to the details. And a lot of people just go over the details. Yeah. Just do the minimum they have to do.
Bare minimum.
Something you said stuck with me when you said when somebody's always stressing about money or why is this always happening to me. So the phrase bad things happen to good people. Why do bad things happen to good people, right? If you're a good person and stuff and bad things happen to you, what do you think the logic is behind that? Because bad things happen to everybody, whether you're good or bad. But what's that logic? I mean, you're doing good, but you still get bad.
Well, you're not in tune with something in your life. Because the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. No, you must be doing something wrong in your life where you're half-assing that's why shit happens to you. And then you also have to shift your perspective. Shit doesn't happen to me, it happens through me. Like the whole scenario of me going through the river and all that shit, and like me having to have kids super early and dropping out of high school, that didn't happen to me, that happened through me, so I could be able to come and inspire someone else right now watching this fucking podcast, so they can fucking change their fucking life. That shit didn't happen to me, it happened through me. And whenever you shift your perspective that way, you're like, you know what, this is a lesson. So check this out. I was going to work, and I have clients, right? And all of them canceled on me. Oh, I got sick. My son's sick. I got to go out of town. I can't make it. So it was like 4 appointments, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I was like, fuck, well, cool. I'll just go to the gym then. And so I went to the gym, and I was like, listen, I know there's someone I have to meet here. Whoever the fuck it is, bring it, right? Like, so I was like, okay, nothing happens to me, happens through me. So I pull up to the gym. I go to the locker room, and I usually go into the sauna. But I was like, let me stop here for a second. And there was this girl next to me, and she was like, oh, those taste good, right? She's talking about my drink. And I was like, oh, yeah, they taste great, whatever. So we had a conversation. Turns out this chick was like, she's a little bit overweight. She was like, listen, haven't been able to lose weight, this, da, da, da. And I was like, I think you have PCOS, bro. She was like, what's that? I was like, I think you have PCOS. I think that you need to go see a doctor and get evaluated because your hormones are not regulated the way they're supposed to. If you're doing all of this and you're doing this and this and this, your metabolic system should be able to crank it up. I'm like, it's not cranking up. Something is wrong with you. Go get a blood test. And sure enough, she's like, I have PCOS. And I was like, I knew it. How do you know that? I said, it was either your thyroid, but you're too young to have thyroid. You're only 23. I said, or it's your PCOS. which is like when women cannot have like regular periods and stuff. So it really messes with the way that they feel and all that stuff because their progesterone levels are just off the charts. So she was able to go get that blood work. And I was like, you know what? God put me here for a reason. You're going to train with me every fucking day, 5 a.m. Let's go, baby girl. And she was like, I'm ready. She broke down crying.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you don't have been there, I mean, how long was she been struggling to?
Yeah, she was like, I've been struggling for a fucking year. Wow. Trying to figure this shit out. I've been meal preps. I've been working out. I've been doing 30 minutes of cardio. I was like, bro, I'm here. Because you know what? Good things don't happen. Bad things don't happen to good people. Just sometimes things don't happen through you, that happen to you. If you know you're a good fucking person at heart, you should not see yourself as bad things happen to good people. You should see it as things happen through me, not to me. And if something bad is, you see your homeboy, you're like, he's such a good guy. Why is shit happening to him? Because either his mindset, he's in a fucking rat race. He's in a fucking rat race of not seeing his own worth and not getting out of that mental, like, because whenever you are like stuck in a situation in life, it is so hard to get out of it. Yeah. Especially when your reality outside looks like shit. So you have to get out of that. Cage. Get out of your, get out of your own head.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah,
and like you said, you could be thinking about problems nonstop, and that's causing them to happen. I lose count how many times I've done that. Where like I said, oh man, hopefully nothing crosses the road, and there goes something crossing the road. Like fucking hey. Yesterday I was leaving the trip. I'm like, I want to have a good trip, man. I hope everything goes good and whatever, and I hope no one gets in front of me. And first thing happens, bro, someone come right in front of me. I have to pump the brakes. My wife had whiplash and everything. I'm like, oh my god. I just got to start thinking positive.
There's a study on that. There's a study, and they have this whole like series on Netflix. I think it's called The Mind Explained. And they start talking about personalities. Is it Hulu? I think it's Hulu, but I'll send it to you guys. Okay. And so it's either Hulu or Netflix, but they're talking about I think it's Hulu. Talking about The Mind Explained, how it works, and personalities. And there's personalities that are like, it's crazy because they have different personalities, like the angry people, the happy people, the pessimists, and the sad people, and all that crap. Well, the people that are pessimists, the more pessimists they are, just ironically happens that more pessimistic shit happens to them. And these are scientists. They're like, oddly enough. I'm like, motherfucker, that's the law of attraction, okay? Yes. And then there's people that are always happy, and crazy enough, good things always happen to them. Wow. So you are your reality. Whatever you think of expands.
You create it. Get it done. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I think like when you said the mind works, I actually want to do something on the Silva mind control. Have you heard of that?
No, tell me more.
Silva mind control. I don't want to misspell his name. Mr. Silva. I think after Mr. Silva, he's from Laredo. He actually made a university here of like basically how to control your own mind. They had different exercises. I don't know too much about it yet, but what interested me was that it started here in Laredo. And like a lot of people study this like all over the nation. Nice. And he has different books and stuff like that. So you have like exercise where you picture yourself, like let's say on a mirror, and you have to put like a blue barrier around it. And like I'm just going with what I've seen so far, but it's just so interesting how you said the mind works in different ways. Oh, yeah. You know, so you might have done it through the sleep, but other people might do it through other exercises that just open up worlds of just opportunity and create their own reality. I mean, that's crazy.
And I'm not saying like, sleep is like the only way, because like your subconscious that's when it's mostly like awake, because your logical brain is always working. Right now it's my logical brain, but usually your patterns come from your subconscious. So you have to reprogram your subconscious, and there's things like this on YouTube that you can listen to while on meditation. A lot of people, why I say sleep is because a lot of people like me, I can't sit still and like meditate during the day. Like I have to be asleep so my mind can, my conscious brain can shut the fuck up, and then my subconscious can be like, okay, let me absorb this, let me retrain. And I think it also comes to awareness, man. Like you got to be aware of your traumas and your triggers so you can be able to reprogram yourself. Because there's a lot of things that we're doing, like 90% of the time we're always on autopilot. I don't know if you ever drove and you're like, oh shit, I'm fucking driving. Like,
I passed the exit. It happens to me,
Because you're always on 90% like autopilot. So when you learn to find your awareness of, hey, I'm always on autopilot. So when, I don't know, like check this out. You talk to people and they're like, oh, I'm just ugly. And so what did you say? Like being aware of what you say is very powerful, because you are manifesting that. You are saying like I don't know if you ever heard this, but I'm sure you should, TikTok. The things that you say in music manifest, right? Yeah. And so whenever you say, oh, I'm just ugly. Oh, I'm broke. I'm poor. I'm not. I'm rich. I'm abundant, right? Yeah. But still, you say those things. You're like,
it's powerful stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just stupid. And guess what? You are. You're fucking stupid. Yeah. You gotta watch out for your words.
You create your own demise, basically. That's what you said. Bad things happen to good people. They're probably just in that mindset of like, I'm so good, something should be happening to me, and instead they're thinking of all the problems that could happen.
Yeah.
That pretty much happened.
Talking about TikTok, I've seen some of your TikToks. The last one I saw was you were in a towel hyping yourself up or something like that.
For the fucking shower.
Yeah, for the shower. Yeah. How's that been? How's that been on TikTok?
Damn. Well, I get paid to do reels.
Nice.
Yeah. I get paid to do reels. I get paid to do content. So I'm always doing
Facebook reels.
I'm getting paid to do Facebook classes, but
Okay.
I do Facebook, Instagram reels.
Instagram reels.
Yeah, and my TikToks, they're out there. I just don't see the monetary value because some of the audience is like, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Or younger.
Definitely
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah, they can't afford the fucking the big high ticket coaching, so it's like it's pointless to even consume time there. What I am on is LinkedIn, so I feel like LinkedIn. What I do is I do a reel and then I post it on LinkedIn and then I post it on Facebook and then I just copy caption everything all and then I just follow up with people and that's a whole different like ballgame, but like I can go down the rabbit hole of fucking marketing and how to create leads.
Tell me a little bit about LinkedIn, because I just jumped on that right now and it's like so amazing. I had no idea what it was. I mean, I'm actively looking for a job, so I mean that's like a secret weapon there. I mean,
bro, we're sleeping on it.
Yes,
everybody
yes.
should
You,
go
make
get
LinkedIn.
a fucking LinkedIn. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. I went to National Association for Women Business in San Antonio, and so we had this seminar, and they were talking about LinkedIn, demystifying LinkedIn. It was called, and Mindy East was like telling us all this shit, and I was like, you know what, I fuck with LinkedIn. But when she said that it is one of the, I think it's like in the top 23 or top 8 searched up websites in the world, I was like, wait, what? And then it's like you are allowed to pitch and sell and not sound salesy. And it's cool, and you can make connections, and you can find your own customers there. I mean, and it's a whole way of setting it up. Like you can literally create so much fucking money on LinkedIn. You can get bookings, you can get paid, and it's actually meant for you to get paid big bucks because there's people, corporate people, CEOs out there. So if you're looking for some big money, get your ass on LinkedIn. Don't be sleeping on it.
Yeah, I could second that. All the applications I was like on Indeed and places like that, nothing compared to what I found on LinkedIn. You're talking about high-paying jobs from huge companies and reputable.
Yeah,
I mean that's something you can't find on those, fly-by pages.
No, not in the fucking yellow pages or the whatever classifieds. Let me tell you one thing about LinkedIn. These people are experienced CEOs, right? And the book Secrets of a Six-Figure Woman, they always say talk about your worth, and it's like whenever you find a job, and this is a fucking pro tip from somebody that has worked with people like that. These people will have Fortune 500 companies, and if you are a good negotiator, they will pay you to fucking relocate your ass. Because they know that you're a valuable employee. But you can't be no fucking regular Joe. You got to know what the fuck you're doing. You got to be like, hey, you want me? I talk about negotiation with her all the time. I'm like, you need to negotiate this price. Because as an employer, you're willing, if you know that you're a good employee, negotiate your price. Hey, listen, man, I'll come work for you for $75K a year, and I want to start a bonus, and I want you to relocate me and my family. And then as the year increases due to inflation, that's when people fuck up. They get a job and they don't ask for increase in their salary according to inflation, and match my 401k because I need to retire well. And you need to think about these things because as a young person that has been in business, this shit was not taught to me in high school. Yeah. This shit was I fucking dropped out of high school. I didn't see the value out of all the years, so fucking 3 years that I was in high school. The Pythagorean theorem, I ain't used that shit once in my life, bro. I'll tell you, you need to learn how to negotiate your pay. You need to learn your worth. You need to be eloquent with words. You need to know how to explain yourself, how to talk to people. I hate people. I'm a shy person. Shut the fuck up, man. Go meet some damn people. Yeah. I can't stand it when I don't like people. I'm not a people person. Yeah. Well, you probably don't got no fucking money. Yeah, you're over here in the corner all crippled and shit. Go talk to some damn people, bro. The more strangers, they say, strangers are don't talk to strangers. Well, strangers make you money.
Yeah, and that's crazy. As a kid, you're telling, don't talk to strangers.
No, bro, go talk to them.
Yeah. And my daughter, she wants to talk to everybody. Yeah. She says hi to everybody. I don't stop that. I mean, I don't see the any ill intent from that. I mean, obviously, I'm right there next to her, making sure no creeps are around, because there are creeps in the world. That's true. Creepers. But be out there. Man, so many times that it could be also trauma. Like you said, trauma, things like that kind of put people together and just keep them in a little cage.
I have to ask, what are your future goals?
What are my future goals? Well, we were actually, I'm working with a mentor, and we're trying to get to 28K in 8 months. And so with those 28K, I'm going to be able to move to Atlanta.
Wow.
I want to move to Atlanta. I see a big, I see a lot of potential in Atlanta. I'm starting to get some more online clients so I can merge from in-person. Because as a fitness coach, I'll tell you one thing. If you're not charging extremely large amounts of money per person, like for the one-on-one, then you're going to have to do group classes, right? And if you do group classes, that's a whole other ballgame because it's a fucking monster. Yeah. And so if you switch to online, my bad. Okay. If you switch to online, like, it's just a lot easier, right? So once we switch to online, like, my platform online is like, I'm setting the brand, I'm finding clients, I'm putting myself out there like reputable keynote speaker so I can have more revenue, obviously fly around the world and speak on this topic and share my knowledge with everyone and empower more people. So in a 10-year span, 8 years from now, I should be moving into New York. But within 3, I should be moving into Atlanta and taking over that area, the tri-state area. Like, I'm excited. I'm really excited. And people are like, well, you know that all fucking logical fucking Peters over here. Well, you know you need to make this kind of money. Shut the fuck up. All I need to know right now is that I am focused with my goals. I know where I'm going. I believe it. And this is where we're going to be. We're going to take over, and I'm going to be known as the next fucking Oprah Winfrey Mexican. Because how many female Latina, like, speakers do you see out there?
Definitely. Yeah.
Very few. Yeah. Very few, if any. Mm-hmm. Especially highlighted, on TV now. But... Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. You have some good goals there.
Yeah, I'm going to write a book here soon, too. I'm starting our YouTube channel. Yeah.
And now, especially here in Laredo, we have a lot of first-generation, second-generation Mexican-Americans. What kind of advice do you have for them right now, being in the same situation? Some of them even, getting those culture setbacks. What advice do you have for them?
I would say get educated. YouTube University, my friends, like... It is super, super expensive to hire a coach. Like, I paid like well over $10,000 for one coach itself, and that only lasted like 4 weeks. So that should tell you how much knowledge these people have. But that knowledge should propel you to the next level. It's an investment. It's not a waste. And if you don't got that kind of money, that's fine. Go to YouTube, learn about this, get educated on financial situations such as how to start, like, it depends on what your goal is, right? Like, if you want to start a business, what are the procedures to get a business? There is funds out there for people that want to have like a small business, Latina owned. And J-Lo has a fucking program for that shit. San Antonio has a program for that shit. Nice. You need to get connected with people. If you don't know how to network, it's about time that you take a day trip to San Antonio and network with some people out there so they can get you an opportunity. And it's just not just about going out there and connecting with people, but also following up. You need to follow up with the connections. Hey, man, you know what? Stay connected. Because sometimes what we do as Latinos is like, hey, you make a connection, they're doing better than you, you get a little jealous, you don't want to talk to them, you're like, fuck that puto, right? And you get all fucking butthurt. But it's like, you should get out of that mindset of, hey, this whole hating on people is not going to get me anywhere. Like, you need to go out there, ask for help. Like, for real, ask for help. There's so many opportunities out there. I went from living here in Laredo and making like $1,000, $2,000 a month to making over $10K in my business over there. So if I could do it with 2 kids and I'm a Latina immigrant, so can you.
So can you.
So can you, my friend.
Wow. And like you said, the ego's not your amigo.
Hey, like ego is not your amigo. You need to get off that fucking high horse.
That's to be a t-shirt, for
your
sure.
Your ego's not your amigo. It's not, bro.
Yeah.
How many times have you stopped yourself from, like from even like walking up to a pretty girl, like, hey, you're so beautiful. Because oh my gosh, she might turn me down. So what? Fuck it. Let her turn you down. Just, it's not even about her. It's about you having the balls to do this. Like, even as a girl, like, if you know that you are worth something, you're going to walk out of that relationship and say, you know what? I deserve better. I deserve better, and don't look back because of shit. You go back, it's like eating your own fucking throw up.
True. And don't be scared to leave the city either, right?
No.
We got a lot of raza here. You get comfortable here real quick. You're like, I'll never leave. But you'll never grow either, right?
No, I know so many people that when I left, they were like, oh, you might not like it or whatever. And I'm like, well, just because you didn't like it doesn't mean I'm not going to like it. Or just because you moved out there and you didn't make it doesn't mean I'm not going to make it, right? Yeah.
Where can they find you? How they sign up for your online course?
Everywhere, motherfucker.
Every platform. Find me on LinkedIn.
Hey, add me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Maria Rodriguez on Facebook. You can also find my website, girlcodefitnesssa.com. And on Instagram, I'm GCFNSATX for my fitness. Also, my Facebook fitness page is Girl Code Fitness and Nutrition with Maria Rodriguez. And then on Instagram, for my personal page, where you can find all my fuckery, it's The Real Maria Rods with a Z in the end. And then LinkedIn is Maria Rodriguez.
Perfect.
Wow.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
we always want to end the show with a little piece of motivational advice to all the viewers. So if you have any tips, anything you want to share to the viewers, will be a perfect opportunity for that.
And what can I say to them?
You haven't said already, right?
Yeah, I already gave you guys all the nuggets.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're watching this and you're still not taking action, and you probably you're like, this chick is on some crack, she's on something. I am. I'm on crack. I'm high on life because I realize that life is too fucking short to give a fuck what anybody thinks. If they don't like you, they can go suck a big one. Because let me tell you something. When you stop giving a fuck, and you gotta flex your I don't give a fuck muscle so much that you don't fucking care. You can wear whatever you want, and you can be unfuckable. Like, you cannot be bothered. And that's the definition of unbothered. Like, you need to learn to be unbothered, because to launch a business and talk about a business and not feel like you are overwhelming people with your business, you need to be unfuckable with. You need to not be bothered. You need to go out there. You need to do what you got to do. And promoting your business every day, you might feel like, oh my God, people are going to get sick of me. And you start getting in your own head, and you start thinking like, oh my God, all these things. Instead of getting out of your head and saying, you know what, fuck it. They don't like me, fuck it. They don't like my business, fuck it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not here to please everyone. You need to stop getting in your head and thinking that the world revolves around you. Quick fact. You're not the main character in nobody's fucking story. When I go home, he's going to go to his life. He's going to go back to his life. I'm going to go back to my life. And they're probably not going to remember what the fuck I said unless they watch this video. Okay? So you're not the main character. The world does not revolve around you. Stop taking shit so fucking seriously. Oh my God, they're talking about me. I don't even know who the fuck you are. Like, get out of your damn head. Go out there and do something about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Boom. What a way to end the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maria Rodriguez.
Thank you so much.
Coach.
Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for
driving
having
out
me.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to get some sushi madre now.
Oh, awesome. That's good.